In an earlier video, I talk about how I do have WordPress 5.9, but I can't start using it, right away because recently I have submitted that website to one of the ad networks. You can guess which one. Okay, so suddenly making changes in the user interface, the way the website is designed, that doesn't make much sense. But there are still some other things which we can check out in WordPress 5.9, etc. So yep, full site editing. For doing that thing, I need to use a website theme, a WordPress theme which actually supports FSE or full site editing. And yeah, that will change the design. So WordPress 22, this is one of the themes which supports the WordPress 5.9 features of full site editing. So first of all, to discuss WordPress, we need to become a little bit familiar with the user interface. And even if somebody doesn't have a WordPress site right now, you can go to wordpress.com website. Okay, it's different than, when you have hosting, you have wordpress.org type of website. It is the free version of WordPress. It is the WordPress that most content creators talk about. Whenever they mention the word WordPress, they're talking about self-hosted wordpress.org. Okay, and yes, to reduce your fear, because familiarity reduces fear. So to become a bit more familiar with how the WordPress appears or feels, you can create a free account at wordpress.com. I have like akp51v.wordpress.com. Okay, I first went there. Then there is this setting where you get you can enable the WordPress dashboard. So initially you have something like, you used to have some simple user interface, and then you can go to the settings and enable the WordPress dashboard. So that way you can become familiar with WordPress, how the WordPress looks like, okay, before getting your own WordPress website. So initially, like anybody else, I began with Blogspot. Okay, Blogger, you go to the blogger.com, sign in with your Gmail ID, which you want to use now for like everything: Google Search Console, AdSense, Analytics, Google Analytics, etc. So you use that email and then create a Blogger account and then name your website and decide what should come before the blogspot.com part. So I was like akp51v.blogspot.com. Don't check it. That was like testing field. Okay, I do have another blogspot like Summary Master 51v Dark. You can check it. I will link to it in the description. So after those things and after freelancing a bit, once you get enough money, you can get your own WordPress website. And one of the beauty about self-hosted WordPress website is, there are all these plugins and all those features that you get. Because if you want to implement the same things in a blogspot site every time, you need some kind of JavaScript or some kind of technical workaround to implement those things. So in the beginning you can practice HTML, CSS and learn a little bit about optimization, etc. with a blogspot. Then you can become familiar with WordPress user interface by going to the wordpress.com and creating your free WordPress site, wordpress.com site. I have also akp51v.wordpress.com. okay, so that's how you build a little bit of familiarity with the WordPress user interface. And once you get enough revenue or enough savings from your jobs or perhaps your freelancing work, then you can invest a bit of that money. And the most cost effective way in case of self-hosted sites is going for the shared hosting. So hosting is like somebody gives you their computer to store your website, and the computer will be online 24 hours and they can access your website. That's all. This is a simplification. Actually, it's oversimplification. And even with Blogspot you can do that. You can have .com, .net, .org domain registered with Google Domains and connect it to your Blogspot, which is another cost effective way of doing it. Because Blogspot hosting is free, you also get a free SSL. Okay, free SSL in the sense, instead of HTTP you will have HTTPS in front of your website. Okay, communication to this website is encrypted. If that's not encrypted, if SSL certificate is not up to date, then you have those warnings in a browser: this website is not safe, your communication with this website is not encrypted or secure. type of thing. So yeah, Blogspot hosted sites are brilliant for all those reasons. But a WordPress site gives you all those plugins, and even without JavaScript you get to do so much. There are just so many features even without coding. Little bit of if you're mentally prepared to have a little bit of learning process with each plugin, then yes, each plugin in WordPress is brilliant, even including dark mode button, because I like dark mode. Let me be clear about this. I like dark mode websites, not the highest contrast dark mode, because if you use the perfect bright color for the fonts, and if you use perfectly dark or saturated background, then there can be too much contrast, and then it seems as if the letters are trying to take over the dark and more saturated background, and they appear as if they are dancing. If you use bright color text and dark color background, and the contrast ratio is too high, okay, there is too much difference between those two. So that's something not great. But in case of WordPress, all I had to do was install a plugin, do a little bit of customization in it, and yeah, that was like cool. So that's one of the advantage of WordPress website. Now before WordPress 5.9, there was some attempts with like block based widgets, and for some reason in my WordPress installation, the block based widgets initially did not work. That's why I installed Classic Widgets, which is a plugin with which you can turn on the actual functionality of WordPress. And the old way of managing widgets, or sidebar, basically, whenever somebody says widgets, okay, somebody says widgets, even because in the Blogspot again you have this special plus symbol in the layout tab, and there you can add new gadgets and stuff. So gadgets, widgets, these are special type of tools which you can you can include a list of your latest post in the sidebar, or you can include some trending topic in the sidebar, embed something in the sidebars, so those kind of things. And I use the classic widgets, and then suddenly after when I deactivated the classic widgets, the features stopped working. The block based widgets, the widget blocks, they stopped working, at least from the widget screen. So I had to go into the customization, appearances, customize website or appearances tab in the WordPress, and then go to the widgets, and then there are all the blocks, and then there I can edit all the blocks. Okay, so this was the thing. But with WordPress 5.9, if you install a website theme which supports full site editing, or FSE as it is known, then you can edit your entire website without having to go through different those menus. Okay, you go to the customize menu to edit this and edit that, but then go to the separate like widget screen for managing widgets, or to manage pages and post, again go to somewhere else. And what you can do with the theme was limited. Okay, managing the navigation menu or pages and footer and this and that. So WordPress 5.9 does solve those issues. And there are other factors for which you don't really need to use a block based theme, block supporting theme. I think they now just call it block themes. Okay, this is it, they call it block themes. These are themes which supports full site editing. So when you go to the themes section of a WordPress site, you have to if you click on the add themes, there are filters. So you can include a feature full site editing in the filter, and then you will see those block themes. This is the tip that I saw after upgrading to 5.9. there is this welcome screen type of stuff which tells you what is new with the WordPress version, like you might have seen those things with other software as well. So this is one of the thing that we can discuss in some future videos. For example, one of the things that I observed, for which you don't really need block theme, is when you start now typing text, okay, paragraph or heading blocks of WordPress, then now you have like different type of user experience, user interface design for changing typography and color. So that's something different. And other changes, I will have to now read a lot of articles about changes which people are actually trying out. But here is a very important concept from today's video, that if you want to be familiar with WordPress, and if you don't want to spend any money, if you just want to understand how WordPress looks like, because in some freelance work assignments they will specifically ask you to have a pre-existing experience with WordPress. Okay, I mean, do you know different user roles in WordPress, and how to edit and draft stuff, or Yoast SEO. Once you get WordPress WordPress website, you get access to the Yoast SEO plugin. So for search engine optimization, bloggers and content creators don't always do all those SEO principles directly. Sometimes you use like all-in-one SEO or Yoast SEO type of plugins in WordPress, and they have their free plans, and they are good enough for small content creators. You want premium plans when when you are earning a lot of money, when you have enough revenue. After that, you can consider getting their premium plans. So Yoast SEO is this interesting plugin in WordPress. Another plugin which I might use, if you have turn on comments on your WordPress site, then again, spam detection, that is possible with different plugins. This is one of the features. What are the other things? Actually, I have installed and uninstalled so many plugins on the site by now. So there is this cookie management plugin, as you know, that you need to tell the website visitors that we are tracking you. We need the details such as how much time you're spending on the website, how long did you use the website. And yes, to show those details, you show cookie banners, and these cookie banners nowadays come with the cookie scanning features. So they scan which are the cookies, they scan the cookies on your website, and yeah, these cookies are mentioned or included in cookie policy document automatically. So that there is also a plugin for that. Someday I will go in more details about it. I mean, yeah, yes, there was that plugin also. One font customization. Earlier, if your theme comes with some kind of font, and then you are like stuck with that font. Some themes do give you access to Google Fonts. If you go to the fonts.google.com, all these fonts, many of those are under Apache license or open font license. So like open source software, you can use those fonts for commercial projects, no worries. And all you have to go is to go to the fonts.google.com, then select the fonts that you like. For example, Montserrat and Open Sans, these are some popular font choices, but now that combination is being overused. But again, you might have noticed the fonts in different apps have changed. So Poppins is another font. Okay, I have used on my WordPress site as of now, I think somewhere. Yeah, so this is interesting. In case of Devanagari script also, because if you're an Indian, you need to know about Devanagari script. In Hindi language, in Marathi language also we use it, and there are other languages in India as well. So Devanagari script, it has also multiple open source fonts, and you can download them from fonts.google.com. I'm talking about installing those fonts on your machine, so you can use those fonts in like Microsoft Word or PowerPoint when you are like drafting your technical proposals, or working on some article, or creating some PDF brochures, or creating social media posts. You can use Microsoft PowerPoint for that. Okay, so you get to use all those web fonts or openly available fonts. And in your PowerPoint presentation, you have to go to the customize size, and then you can set the resolution or aspect ratio the way you want for specific social media channel. Okay, so this is something interesting to note down. So in the future, I guess I will do more about WordPress stuff, and this is interesting. Why didn't I think about it? Maybe I can also go on WordPress.com side of mine, and then check out if this block editing or full site editing is available there or not. So wow, this is interesting discussion. Again, do upgrade to WordPress 5.9. You will get access to all those block full site editing stuff, block themes, etc. And if you're already doing those things, that's awesome. Okay, customizing the design, no longer being restricted by some pre-existing themes, that's something interesting. Okay, and in case of typography, I had to install a font. Yes, one of the important thing I was talking about. There is this WordPress plugin. There are WordPress plugins which give you this freedom, complete freedom of selecting any font for your website. So do check them out if you already have a WordPress site. And again, as I have said, if you cannot afford a WordPress site right now, is fine. Okay, do a little bit of freelancing, or build a little bit of savings or budget for that, and then go for it. Okay, and whenever you go for freelancing or website hosting, try to go for the 4-year plans, because in the world of content creation, it's not like there is already so much competition. It's not like you are going to grow overnight or in a month or even in a year. So you can assume a negative profit margin period of 3 years, and yeah, that's why getting 4-year plan is affordable in the long term. This is what I think. Okay, if you get the annual plans, then chances of you quitting are high. Okay, because if you already committed yourself for 4-year plan, at least you would think twice before canceling your subscriptions for hosting. So yeah, it takes a lot of patience in this world of content marketing and etc. So if you are like small right now, or if you are like finding difficulty, if you grew fast, but after a point you started like witnessing decline, then again, so have patience, do not quit. All the best, and thank you for watching if you watched this far. Next time we will talk more about WordPress plugins and Blogspot. So yeah, have a nice day, and do check out other videos on the channel. They will be about digital content creation, so freelancing and other stuff. So yeah, that's there. This is it for today's video. Thank you.